Never say die. Never say die. The blackness. Keep on.
And welcome to another episode of Ask the Wiz. I'm your humble host, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves, saying thank you so much for joining us doing this, another edition of Ask the Wiz, the radio broadcast. You, my beloved listeners, have ventured inside the classroom without walls. Well, just like we discussed yesterday in the Ask the Wiz Institute virtual trade room, my, it's time to give P.A.I.D. the Ask the Wiz Institute ER strategies. And today, that was certainly the case because we are going to be revealing positions to you that are currently, we're talking about today, Tuesday, July the 18th, 2017, generating from 21% profit to over 200, that's right, 223% profit for you, my beloved Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family. At a point in time when people checking accounts, saving accounts, money market accounts, T-bills, CDs, and the like aren't even paying 3% per year, here we are about to receive double digits and triple digit profits, all courtesy of the ancestors and the creator via the utilization of our Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute ER strategies. And also doing this, the first hour of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast, yours truly will be revealing noteworthy insider trading activity of the day, followed up with the list of today's top 10 trending stocks. And then, yours truly will reveal multiple threats that could affect your profits during the second half of 2017. I need you to take copious notes, for you need to offset these possibilities by engaging in prudent trading and investing going into the second half of 2017, as we see now, what others see eventually. And then yours truly will indicate a very, very clever way to get P.A.I.D. from autonomous driving vehicle technology. That's right. As you know, driverless cars are quickly becoming all the right wave, and yours truly is going to show you how to get out in front of the markets, take the appropriate positions to get P.A.I.D. from autonomous driving vehicle technology. And as we roll into the second hour of this Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast, yours truly will identify an Asian sleeping tiger that will get you P.A.I.D. We're talking about one country that is a sleeper that will get us P.A.I.D. prolifically. And we're going to show you the exact position to take to monetize this Asian sleeping tiger. And then yours truly will list multiple positions poised to have double-digit growth and pay you, are you listening? 20+% dividend payouts. I said double-digit growth, and they will P.A.I.D.Y.O.U. Okay, they'll get you paid to the tune of 20+% on the dividend side. If you don't do a drill down on these particular positions and consider them for possible inclusion into your portfolio, you just do not want to get P.A.I.D. And we're going to wrap up the second hour as yours truly will explain a very, very powerful strategy, the Oracle of Omaha. We're talking about Warren Buffett, what he uses to get P.A.I.D. consistently. You definitely need to take copious notes doing this particular portion of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast, because see, it's very important. If you want to become wealthy, you got to do what the wealthy do. And we're going to analyze the Oracle of Omaha himself. And I'm going to show you one tried and true strategy he uses on and on and on to get P.A.I.D. Not to mention that around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, yours truly will give you a list on multiple positions, talking about the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute ER plays of the day that will get you P.A.I.D. also within the next 24 hours. So as you see, you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family and listeners alike, we've got quite a bit to do in a brief period of time. Let's roll up our sleeves, let's go to work, and let's make Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street. Once again, peace and blessings be upon each and every one of you. This is your humble servant, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves, saying thank you so very, very much for allowing me to be part of your day. My. Did we have a powerful ATWWI Wealth Institute virtual trade room yesterday or not? That's right, and it was right on time because as I indicated to you, these ER positions were going to be released, and we have a particular strategy to go ahead and get his P.A.I.D from ER plays, and boy, were they right on time today. So we'll be monetizing those positions in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we would be remiss if we didn't give all praise, honor, and glory to the ancestors and the Creator for this day that allow us to develop the third eye, the eye that can see the invisible, and then concurrently develop that third ear, the ear that can hear the inaudible. This in turn allows us to stay in contact with the Most High and the ancestors through that centralized conduit that is known as spirit. For as both you and I know, without spirit, we are absolutely nothing.
Heart and soul, body and mind, but the very essence of our existence is spirit. What is it about the human spirit that produces the courage and the strength to beat insurmountable odds, to survive and endure despite unbelievable circumstances? Our spirit embodies the very essence of our existence. We believe that it has been handed down from generation to generation. Beginning in Africa, the motherland, where for eons, we believe that the Creator heard us when we cried, saw us when we faltered, and helped us along the way. And now, more than ever, it is time for us to get back in touch with the spirit that lives inside us all. Because without it, we are less than whole. But with it, there is nothing we cannot overcome. For the essence of our existence is spirit.
Amen and ashe. Now, for those of you that want to authenticate these prophets that the ancestors and the Creator are about to bestow upon the beloved ATWWI Wealth Institute family, for those of you that want proof positive that these are true prophets, then we beseech you to engage in what is known as interactive radio by simply going to www.yahoofinance.com. That's www.yahoofinance.com. And as yours truly gives out each and every symbol, all you have to do is punch it in, and you too can bear witness to the prophets that the ancestors and the Creator are bestowing upon the beloved ASK the WIZ Wealth Institute family. Wealth Institute family members, portfolios open, please, for it is now time to give P.A.I.D. And now, family members, let's go to work because we have many positions that we need to monetize. Many positions that are going to get us P.A.I.D. Now, family members, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do 2 positions at a time, okay? 2 positions at a time because we have quite a bit to do in a brief period of time doing this ATWWI Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast. So what I like to do is list 2 positions at a time, as I indicated to you, and then, depending upon which position you have, you go ahead and go to work and monetize these positions to get P.A.I.D. Starting out first with that Equity Lifestyles Properties. Equity Lifestyle Properties, symbol ELS. Talking about that August $85 call that's paying us 21.95% profit in less than 24 hours, utilizing our ATWWI Wealth Institute ER strategy. And then we're also going to monetize Select Comfort Corporation, symbol SCSS. Talking about that August $31 call, and it's paying us 40% profit utilizing the ATWWI Wealth Institute ER residual strategy. So that means it's paying us in less than 6 hours. So we're going to go ahead and monetize that ELS, once again, that August $85 call, and that SCSS August $31 call, and receive 21.95% profit and 40% profit respectively. So let us now set a close, market order on at least one of our contracts, issuing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the seller close index, and we get P.A.I.D. right here in the midst of summer. And we give all praise, honor, and glory to the ancestors and the Creator. Go to work, family members. Once again, those positions are ELS and that SCSS. Once again, you are selling the close market order. Your swing trailing stops at 3 to 5% below the settle close index, and you make Wall Street pay you right here on Main Street. It's that ELS and that SCSS. Talking about getting P.A.I.D. From that ELS. Talking about that August $85 call option. Paying us 21.95% profit in less than 24 hours. And we have that SCSS. Talking about that Select Comfort Corporation. That August $31 call. Paying us 40% profit. Utilizing the S was to ER residual strategy. Up next, we've got that Comerica Inc. symbol CMA. And that Goldman Sachs Group symbol GS. You inside the classroom without walls. Let us now move to that Comerica Inc. symbol CMA. Talking about that August $75 put, paying us 32.25% profit in less than 24 hours. And we've got that Goldman Sachs Group symbol GS. Talking about that August $230 put, paying a 62% profit. Let's continue to work, family, and make Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street. Need you to set a close market order on each one of your contracts. Issuing shown stops at 3 to 5% below the set a close index to protect against market erosion on that CMA, that August $75 put, and that GS. Talking about that Goldman Sachs August $230 put. Oh yeah, I got so much information to give you today inside the Classroom Without Walls. You're going to learn how to get P.A.I.D like the Oracle of Omaha, Mr. Warren Buffett. This is your humble servant, Dr. Ken the Wiz Reeves, reminding you that we do this each Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast. CMA and GS want to put a little friendly pressure on you to get P.A.I.D. Set a close market order, CMA and GS. Just a little pressure on you. Call it friendly pressure. To get P.A.I.D. CMA, GS, 32.25% and 62% respectively.
Just wanna be strong. Don't wanna make you uncomfortable. Every time I'm wrong. Don't wanna be right. I just wanna be sweet to you, baby. I wanna be your everything. Boy, you mean every little thing to me. Friendly, pressure, from midnight into the sunshine. Don't wanna get wet until the rain, till the rain begins. Don't wanna get wet till the rain begins. I don't wanna be weak. Yes, I'm gonna be strong. Don't wanna make you uncomfortable. When every time you're wrong, I'm not gonna get right. If you just let me be sweet to you, baby. I wanna give you everything. Oh, and try to be anything you want me to be. Friendly, pressure, midnight into the sunshine. Friendly, pressure, from midnight sunshine. I don't wanna be lonely. I don't wanna be weak. I just wanna be strong. Don't wanna make you uncomfortable.
Getting paid from that Comerica Inc. symbol CMA and that Goldman Sachs Group symbol GS. You're inside the Classroom Without Walls, where we're making Wall Street pay us right here on Main Street.
Don't wanna get wet until the
Up next, we've got that Johnson & Johnson, symbol J&J, and that Lockheed Martin Corporation. What about the fifth position, symbol LMT? Now, on that J&J, we're talking about that August $130 call, paying us 45.25% profit. And on that Lockheed Martin Corp, that symbol LMT, we're talking about that August $285 call, paying us 21.95% profit. So let us now set a close market order on each one of our contracts in either one of these positions. You issue those selling stop to 3 to 5% below the set of close index, and you give P.A.I.D. J&J and LMT. Go to work, family members, and give P.A.I.D.
Every day it gets harder, just the cost of living pulling me down. I try to stay above water, but these bills got me back to drown.
I can't keep living this life, robbing Peter, but still can't play ball. I just been fighting this fight, but I don't know what's the point of it all.
I keep a positive mind, but it's hard to flow when your cash is low. I'm working days and nights, still I can't get up out of this hole.
Because I get played on the first, played on the last,
And struggle all through the middle.
every month I get played on the first, played on the last, and struggle all through the middle, yeah, yeah. M-O-N-E-Y, never seem to multiply for me. Ain't nothing moving, 'cause I keep losing. M-O-N-E-Y, never seem to multiply for me. Ain't nothing moving, 'cause I keep losing, yeah. Them bankers know that they own us, but I swear it's modern slavery. Oh yeah, they give each other a bonus while our children live in poverty. Shame, what a shame.
I keep on teaching my kids, you work hard, you go far in this life.
Yeah, yeah.
But the reality is, I'm slaving on to the bone to survive. Oh,
I'd like to take you away, girl, but I just can't see how that's gonna be. Yeah, don't like to say it in this way, girl. Somebody rich said the best things are free. Because I get played on the first, played on the last.
and struggle all through the middle.
Every month I get played on the first, played on the last. Working hard, working hard. I get played on the first, played on the last.
And then I struggle through the middle.
Every month I get played on the first, played on the last. And struggle all through the middle. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me. Not for me, not for me. M-O-N-E-Y, never seen the multiply for me. Nothing moving, I keep losing.
I keep a positive mind, but it's hard to flow when your cash is low. Working days overtime, still I can't get myself out of this hole.
Because I get played on the first, played on the last.
And struggle all through the middle.
Every month I get played on the first, played on the last. My back, struggling. Because I get played.
It's that J&J and that LMT. Pain is right here inside the classroom without walls. Up next, we're going to monetize three positions at one time. You can do it. We're talking about that metadata solution symbol, MDSO. Talking about that August $80 call, paying a 67.25% profit utilizing the ASK to ER residual strategy. That's that MDSO. We're going to also monetize that Interactive Brokers Group, symbol IBKR. Talking about that August $38 put. That's paying us 39% profit. And TD Ameritrade Holdings, symbol AMTD. Talking about that August $44 call. That's paying us 55.28% profit. Now let us now sell the closed market order on all of those positions or any of those positions that you may currently have. You should trail stop to 3 to 5% below the sell the closed index. Once again, on that MDSO August $80 call, paying us 67.25% profit. Interactive Brokers Group, symbol IBKR, August $38 put, paying us 39% profit. And that TD Ameritrade Holdings Corp, symbol AMTD, talking about that August $44 call, that's paying us 55.28% profit. Once again, sell the closed market order on each one of your contracts, issuing trailing stop to 3 to 5% below the sell the close index, and you make their street, which is Wall Street, pay us right here on our street, which is Main Street. Go to work, family members. Now is the time to get P.A.I.D. where? On our street, which is Main Street.
Like you're cool, holding big ass signs like a socialistic fool. This is our street, whining like your mule, with no solutions better than your partisans' pool. This is our street, big brother, we condemn, trying to break us up, but we're not REM. This is our street, listen to the beat, resonated in, this is our Wall Street. The Lehman Brothers back, and we're shouting at the flock. All you little haters, get the hell off our block. I'm looking out my window on the 51st floor, watching all your people. Man, your life's a big bore. Thinking to myself, what's this all for? I turn on the news and it's ran by Michael Moore. These people camping out with their ignorant signs, saying Wall Street committed some fraudulent crimes. A movement has arisen which Facebook organized. Occupy Wall Street. Who you trying to defeat? You say your side's right and our side is wrong. The bankers making money versus the potheads on the lawn. Yeah, this is our street, marching like you're cool, with them big ass signs like a socialistic fool. This is our street, whining like a mule, with no solutions better than your partisans' fool. This is our street, big brother, we condemn, trying to break us up, but we're not REM. This is our street, listen to the beat, resonated in, this is our Wall Street. All the marching zombies are causing lots of issues. We'll tell the hard truth first, you better grab some tissues. Listen to us speak, not lying when we tell. Banks open up their vaults, and then they went to hell. The buck was passed from here, it's the dollar we control. When Greenspan helped you get it, you invested like a troll. The central bank stumble caused the real estate bubble. Homes nearly doubled, while you cashed out with no trouble. Now you occupy the street like we should take the heat. You got it all wrong, and that's the point of this beat. You're just like the Greeks in protest mode, with no solutions better than our current status quo. This is our street, your hygiene's so poor, an outbreak can occur from your scabby cold sore. This is our street, our turn to roast, just like a bacteria with polluted hosts. This is our street, go to DC, it's they who take a page and turn the other way. This is our street, listen to this beat, resonated in, this is our Wall Street. With elections coming up, this movement helps Obama. The people contemplate whether he devises this drama. A government conspiracy to occupy our shack. Obama's just like Bush, except that ass was in Iraq. You wanna tax us more? Then give a good pitch. Moving growth of GDP comes from stripping down the rich. Wall Street measures value, you bitch about our ration. The problem's your behavior, keeping up with Kim Kardashian. This is our street, aren't your people broke? They spent Black Friday on the holiday, you dope. This is our street, your actions aren't one
wise. Pimps like Jay-Z simply live off your demise. This is our street, whining that you're stuck. Your people who are pissed always claim you got no luck. This is our street, listen to this beat. Resonated in, this is our Wall Street. This is our street, y'all remember that. Take Econ 101 and then simply talk fat. This is our street, our money trickles down. It's called a free market, commerce comes from this town. This is our street, you're not the 99%. It's hard-working citizens afraid to represent. This is our street, think about this on Wall Street. Ain't the problem, your movement is all wrong.
Making Wall Street pay is right here on our street, which is Main Street. Now we're about to take it to triple-digit profits, y'all. That's right, as we get paid on our street. We're talking about getting P.A.I.D. over 200% profit now. Now, I want you to listen intently, so you go ahead and put the smack down on Wall Street and make them pay you right here on Main Street. We're talking about getting P.A.I.D. 200% profit from Netflix. That's right. Underlying stock hit a 52-week high today, catapulting our associative call option. Talking about that NFLX. August $160 call to 202.20% profit. Netflix had predicted that they would only sign up 1.5 million new subscribers. They signed up 5 million new subscribers, and we're getting P.A.I.D. That's right. We're getting paid 202.20% profit in less than 24 hours off of Netflix. Underlying stock hit a 52-week high today, catapulting our NFLX August $160 call to 202.20% profit. And then we're also going to go ahead and monetize Harley Davidson. Talking about the big hog, symbol HOD. Their stock hit a 52-week low today on the back of a negative ER. Well, man, we don't care. And we're monetizing that HOG August $50 put to 223.10% profit. Underlying stock went to the downside, catapulting our associative put option to the upside. Talking about that HOG August $50 put to 223.10% profit. And then we'll go ahead and monetize Prologis, symbol PLD, that's Prologis, symbol PLD, that August $55 call. He's paying us 22.50% profit. So let's go ahead and hit him with a triple play payday here as we monetize that NFLX, talking about that Netflix, that HOG, talking about that Harley Davidson, and that Prologis, symbol PLD. Life is good, and somebody need to let Wall Street know that the revolution, no, it ain't gonna be televised as we continue to get P.A.I.D. It's a movement, y'all, a grassroots movement where Main Street is making Wall Street pay them, right? N-O-W. And as I indicated, no need to shout, no need to holler. We don't need to let the world know what we're doing. We just need to move consistently for the revolution. Need not be televised. Talking about that economic revolution. Get P.A.I.D. family, that Netflix, that Harley Davidson, and Prologis.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green acres, Beverly Hillbillies and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry R. Women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Let's make this revolution. Talking about an economic revolution, y'all. Let's make it live. As you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family and listeners alike get P.A.I.D. So right now, you should be smiling. Why? Because you just made Wall Street pay you right here on Main Street. You're deep inside the classroom without walls. Yeah, we're smiling.
Walking in the rain, I can picture sunny days ahead. As I grow older, I find the choice is always mine. Which way my life will go. That's why I'm smiling. That's how I gotta be. Yes, I'm smiling. See it smiling back at me. Take the good with the bad and feel happy when I'm sad. Oh, I'm feeling so free. Yesterday's come and gone. I refuse to let it get me down. Happiness reveals a power that's concealed. Oh, the strength in letting go. I refuse to be sad. All the blessings that I have. Ain't no point in being mad. Ain't no point in being mad. That's why I'm smiling. That's how I gotta be. Ooh, yeah. Yes, I'm smiling. See it smiling back at me. Take the good with the bad and feel happy when I'm sad. Oh, I'm feeling so free. I want to see. I just want you smile. I feel I want to see. Your smile. Hey. I feel free. That's why I'm smiling. Smiling. That's why I'm smiling. That's how I gotta be. Yes, I'm smiling. See it smiling back at me. Take the good with the bad and feel happy when I'm sad. Oh, I'm feeling so free. I'm feeling so free. Free. That's why I'm smiling. That's why.
And now, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute noteworthy insider trading activity of the day, followed up with the list of today's top 10 trending stocks. Well, as we take a look at noteworthy insider trading activity for today, we're talking about for Thursday, July the 18th. 2017, there's only one particular trade that commands our attention. I want to bring your attention to Thomas Sanzone. Thomas Sanzone. He's the CEO of Black Knight Financial Services. Thomas Sanzone. And earlier today, Thomas went ahead and sold off 30,000 shares of his own company stock very quietly at a price point of $41.75. And he made $1,252,500. That's Thomas Sanzone, CEO of Black Knight Financial Services, symbol BKFS, making $1,252,500 by selling off 30,000 shares of his own company stock very quietly at a price point of $41.75 flat. And now I'd like to move to the top 10 trending stocks for today, Tuesday, July the 18th, 2017. Now, for those of you that are on the Ask the Wiz Wall Street tweet list, where you received this information earlier today, and many of you have actualized and or monetized this information and gotten P.A.I.D. upon completion of the appropriate drill down. Now, if you too would like to receive actionable intelligence each and every day that the U.S. markets are open, that upon completion the appropriate drill down will get you P.A.I.D. Well, then all you have to do is go to our website at www.askthewiz.info. That's www.askthewiz.info. And upon arrival on our homepage, go to the right-hand side of our homepage. You'll see the tweet submitted by yours truly. Simply click on follow us, put in your pertinent information, and each and every day that the U.S. markets are open, you too will receive actionable intelligence. Upon completion of the appropriate drill down, we'll get you P.A.I.D. It's the Ask the Wiz Wall Street tweet list. Get on it today. And now let us take a look at the top 10 trending stocks for once again Tuesday, July the 18th, 2017. Number one position held down by Netflix, symbol NFLX. Number two position of today's top 10 trending stocks held down by Microsoft, symbol MSFT. Number three position held down by Nvidia, symbol NVDA. Number four position of today's top 10 trending stocks held down by Ford Motor Company, symbol F. Number five position held down by Apple, symbol AAPL. Number six position held down by Sun Power, symbol SPWR. Number seven position of today's top 10 trending stocks held down by ArcelorMittal, symbol MT. Number 8 position is held down by Nutex, symbol NTNX. Number 9 position held down by MBEV, symbol ABEV. And the number 10 position of today's top 10 trending stocks held down by General Motors, symbol GM. So there you have it, the top 10 trending stocks for July 18th, Tuesday, 2017. Let us repeat them once again quickly. Microsoft, symbol MSFT. Netflix, symbol NFLX. Nvidia, symbol NVDA. Ford Motor, symbol F. Apple, symbol AAPL. Sun Power, symbol SPWR. ArcelorMittal, symbol MT. Nutex, symbol NTNX. MBIV, symbol ABEV. And General Motors, symbol GM. When we come right back, yours truly is going to go over something. Let me give you some information that will help you. Information and a strategy that World War II fighter pilots utilize to save their lives. This set of same strategies that I'm about to present to you will get you P.A.I.D. as well. That and so much more when we come back here inside the classroom without walls. I want to remind you once again that we do this each Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where yours truly gives you information that will allow you to not only obtain but also maintain your economic liberation. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wall Street family, and listeners alike to do for self. And always understand and understand that failure is simply not an option, and we must do for self. Now is the time, and we must work forward so that we can indeed change this world. Believe it, but you must start with self, and you must change self first. Go to work, family, and do for self. Don't depend on massa to do anything for you, because that's not his obligation to free you. No, you must free yourself, and you must change your world. You're inside the classroom without walls. Fighter pilot techniques to get your P.A.I.D. up next. Can you change your world?
Saw an old lady sitting on the street. She looked worn and tired. She had no food to eat. Heaven's got to be somewhere. She really should be sitting there so cold and lonely. change the world? Can we make it right? Brother fights brother, their plays no longer fair. Money still makes the world go round. Make love if you dare. It really should not be this way, but just living in the world today, so hard to do. Can we change the world? Will we find the answers? Will we change the world? Can we make it right? Can we change the world? Will we find the answers? Will we change the world? Can we make it right?
The question is, can you and will you change your world? The power to do so resides within. You kings and queens, you gods and goddesses, change your world.
You ask me the questions, tell you no lies. What we are wondering is where the answer lies. What do we do and what should we say? All I know is there's one question. Can we change the world? Tell me, can we change the world? Will we find the answer? Will we find the answers? Will we change the world? If I change, and you change, we could make it right. Can we change the world? You and I were truly free. Will we find the answer? What a wonderful world this would be. Will we change the world? I can't change, you can change. Let's make it right. Can we change the world? We could change the world. Find the answer. Only we could find the answer. Change the world. We can change the world. Make it
You know, family members and listeners alike, I'm a bit of a history buff. I like to look back and see how humans responded to certain situations in the past because it's a good indication as to how they will respond to certain things in the future. And so I also like to combine my interest in history with more specific military history. Because, see, military history tells you how societies and how people respond when there's tragic events that is before them. Now, it's getting rough out there in the markets, much like a military war in and of itself, with no shortage of threats to your hard-earned cash. Now, I want to bring your attention to some military history. Let's go back. I want to talk about a U.S. Marine Corps ace. I mean, he was a fighter ace. And his history and his legacy will always live long in U.S. military annals. I'm talking about Marine Corps ace George Pappy Boyington. Now, Pappy got his name, he was known as Gramps, because he was commanding a squadron of 20-somethings, 20-year-olds at the advanced age of 31. So he was 31 years old, and then the fighter pilots up under him were in their 20s. And that was ancient for a combat pilot back in that day. And Pappy Boyington, who'd also flown the more with the more popular known Flying Tigers, shot down somewhere between 22 and 28 planes, making him a quadruple ace. Now, he spent time as a prisoner of war, and he won the Congressional Medal of Honor. Now, Boynton was very, very flamboyant, and he was controversial, but he was also a difference maker when America needed such personalities in the midst of war. And he was a guy, okay, that I wish I really would have had a chance to meet. Now, we at the ATWWI Wealth Institute, we want to be a difference maker for you, our beloved ATWWI Wealth Institute family. Now, I was thinking about Pappy Boyington this past weekend because of a story I remembered him telling in an interview, okay? And then he wrote about it in his book about one of the dog fights he had, okay? And during this particular dog fight, okay, he was very, very efficient at getting this particular Japanese Zero in his crosshairs, okay? And he described that they were going across the skies, trying to outmaneuver each other, okay? So that they can get a clear angle shot at one another. And he said the number one lesson, okay, that he would tell his fighter pilots up under him is that whenever they were in an aerial dogfight, okay, he told his fighters, okay, that never forget to keep looking around while you're in the air. Always look around. And in this particular dogfight that he had with this Japanese ace, Pappy said you almost had to be able to look everywhere all at once just to survive because the Japanese ace was just that good. Now, he said the cardinal sin of aerial combat is a miscue known as, quote, letting your head get up and get locked. Listen to me, family. I'm going somewhere with this. So, Pappy Boyington, U.S. Marine ace, used to tell his pilots, don't you ever let your head get up and get locked, meaning you're not constantly scanning your environment. You're not trying to spot any and all possible threats. Forget that key rule and commit that cardinal sin in a dogfight, and you are done. You will get flamed, as the pilots used to say when you get shot down. Now, I thought about this quite a lot this weekend, and for good reason. You see, as prudent traders and investors in the ATWWI Wealth Institute family, we're in a market dogfight right now, with threats zooming and wheeling all around us. More than ever, we need to be hyper-vigilant, family members. We want to knock off a few victories, i.e. winning trades of our own. But we must keep on looking around for more victims to get us P.A.I.D. And the key to all of that, to surviving and thriving in this freewheeling, rough and tumble stock market of today, is to avoid being flamed because we weren't paying attention. We're going to help you at this particular time to keep that from happening. So I need you to listen very, very closely to me, okay? And as a result of that, as a result of you listening and implementing the things that I'm about to say to you, okay, you will get P.A.I.D. and you will build your confidence and concurrently build your wealth. So let's go over what I'm talking about, okay? Now, if we're honest about what we face right now and conduct a real threat assessment, we have a lot of things to watch, a lot of things to monitor. And I'm not just talking about stocks that are at or near their record high. No, let's look at some of the threats we're facing right now and then come back and talk about what we can do to avoid calamity and to be opportunistic for ourselves to get P.A.I.D. Now, one threat that I want to present to you that is happening as I speak is the so-called Trump rally. You see, the NASDAQ Composite Index is at a record high. And this has been since the November 8 presidential election. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up way more than 14%. And at some point, you best believe there will be a correction indeed. And it will be healthy for the markets. But whether it's a correction or something bigger and how long it lasts will be partly determined by what triggers it. That makes it something to watch for, beloved. The next thread I want to bring to your attention is the so-called rotation. The rotation. So the first threat was the Trump rally that has to come to an end soon. The second thing I want to bring to your attention is the rotation, quote unquote. You see, this all-time high that the markets has hit, okay? This will cause what you will see all of the time with the markets, where the current leaders in a sector or index or asset class or geographic market give way to new leaders. U.S. stocks have been the leaders for some time now, especially given the messes we see in the markets abroad. And indeed, if you've invested in European stocks as an asset class over the past decade, your return has been zero. But laggards eventually become leaders, making it worth your while to be ahead of the curve. And the time for Europe could be now. Now, the last 44 times, I said the last 44 times, U.S. stocks outperformed their European brethren by as much as they do now. European stocks went on to outperform U.S. shares for the next 10 years. Let me repeat that. The last 44 times, U.S. stocks outperformed their European brethren by as much as they are now. European stocks came back and went on to outperform U.S. shares for the next 10 years. At the end of the day, okay, the way stocks and even our economy fare or turn out has as much to do with the psychology and emotion of the market participants, of the traders and investors, as anything else. Take heed to what I just submitted to you. A third threat that we would be well advised to pay attention to is the Great Recession has been over for more than 7 years now, beloved, and there's still a hangover, one that can't be cured with tomato juice and pepper. No, a brand new New York Federal Reserve forecast says that sometime this year, total household debt will reach previous record peaks of $12.68 trillion, a level last seen in the third quarter of when? 2008. And during the aforementioned financial morass, okay, this situation is presenting itself again. Automobile loan defaults are on a rise, just like I predicted they would be last year in 2016. They are indeed on a rise this year, 2017. Now, this time around, it's not housing that has folks in a rock in a hard place, no, but rather automobile loans, as I just mentioned, and student debt. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, debt is debt. And even though assets are greater now than before, those liabilities are still a drag on the overall economy. What's really worrisome is that half of all Americans just aren't making the cut. You see, roughly 50% of Americans won't be able to deal with a major financial emergency. Nearly 1 in 3 don't even have $500. They don't even have $500. 1 in 3 they can put their hands on if something bad happens. While about 1 in 5, or 19%, have nothing at all. So, if the market rolls over, or if there's some sort of economic shock, if you will, to the financial system, those poor people will continue to stumble in U.S. growth. The fourth threat that we need to be paying attention is, if you tune into Fox Business or CNBC or Bloomberg, or you read the Wall Street Journal, you'll see all these analyst commentaries. You'll see earnings reports. You'll see political commentaries and pundits' pieces written about what the economy is or is about to do. It's all noise. It's all riffraff, family members and listeners alike. At the end of the day, how stocks and even our economy fare has as much to do, as I said earlier today, with the psychology and emotion of the trader and investor, of the consumer, as anything else. You see, when people feel upbeat about their current circumstances and about their futures, they spend money and they invest, which means stock prices advance and the economy grows. But, however, when those same people are weary, fearful, or angry, they stuff their wallets back in their pockets and they stop spending. And at this stage of the economic cycle, and at this stage of the market rally, it's the real people who are providing the fuel. A full 70% of economic growth stems from consumer spending, and retail investors are serving as the rally extenders, fueling record stock prices. But you see, the real people are worried. They're worried about losing their jobs to automation. They're worried about corporations borrowing money at historically low interest rates, but not reinvesting them into their companies and hiring more people. They're worried about outsourcing of jobs. 49% of employees are concerned, anxious, or fearful about their current financial well-being. And the latest consumer confidence survey, released just last Friday, found that consumers were generally optimistic during April, though not as upbeat as Wall Street economists had expected. Now that's a bit concerning, beloved family members, especially since another report released that same day, that very same day, found that the U.S. economy, quote, unexpectedly, end quote, grew at its slowest pace in 3 years as consumer spending appeared to falter. Now, when you're counting on debt-ridden, worried about the future, no emergency cash Americans, it's not really a stunner to see them pulling back on their spending. And the next thread I want to give you is, let me be clear about what I'm about to say. And my colleagues will back me up on this. Really, I'm not a political guy. I'm an economical guy. I'm an economist, okay? And in fact, I'm here to help you get P.A.I.D. I don't care about your religious or your political affiliations. Doesn't matter to me. So any comments I make about America's political environment are made as an observer who's trying to project cause and effect, and not a guy who's advocating one side or the other. The fact is, America is about as split as I've seen it in my 50 plus years of being on this planet. And that schism has a couple of effects. One is it makes everybody mad. Everybody's upset. Have you noticed in your environment, in your surroundings, how mad everybody is? You go to the gas station, you go to the grocery store, you get stuck in rush hour traffic. Everybody just has a frown on their face. Everybody's mad, okay? The right that you're seeing, the right that people have to be mad, well, they certainly are exercising that right, okay? And you got people on both sides of the aisle that are mad at one another. And the folks that are the maddest are the ones that can ill afford to get emotional, and that's the poor people. They need to double down and focus on what the upper echelon of people are doing to manipulate them. Okay? But beyond merely raising everyone's blood pressure by a measurable amount, this also leaves folks feeling, well, uneasy. And that means they're much more likely to engage in knee-jerk reactions. Listen to me. So should stocks, bonds, gold, oil, or any other closely watched market roll over, you're going to see people start dumping their positions ASAP and trying to get liquid and get the cash. The next threat I want to give you is, remember that at the onset, or well, say a few minutes ago, I said I'm not politically inclined, and I'm not. But I'm observant. See, you got to understand and understand something. That what happens globally as well as domestically affects you, whether or not you want to admit it or not. I'll bring your attention back to the 1970s. And there was a movie called The China Syndrome. Now, the title was hijacked and for a long time was morphed into all sorts of warnings about China, its politics and politricks, its nuclear aspirations, and even its economic emergence. But today, China, Russia, and North Korea have morphed into an interconnected trifecta syndrome, with each and all of these three countries standing as both security threats and economic threats to America's markets and economic expansion. And by threat, I mean that the increasingly militant policies and actions of these countries could result in an international incident that could trigger a stock market correction or crash. Now, China is trying to cordon off the South China Sea by building artificial islands and arming them to the teeth. I've talked about that many times in the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute. Both Beijing and Moscow are making aggressive aerial and seagoing feints, or head fakes, if you will, against key U.S. allies, and more specifically, Japan. Russia has been doing the same with the United States. Its submarines and its spy ships are running close to the United States coast, and they're as close as they did back during the Cold War. And the U.S. Air Force is having to scramble fighters to intercept Russian, fighter jets as they repeatedly approach and enter into U.S. airspace. I've been sending you tweets about that. Both China and Russia are testing what are called wedge weapons, And these are maneuverable, nuclear-tipped strategic strike weapons with the full intention of fielding them by the decade's end. And North Korea pushes ahead with its nuclear test and ballistic missiles launches, overtly threatening a U.S. strike, with Beijing apparently doing little to stop the growing threat. You see, family members and listeners alike, an environment like this is like a West Coast fire during a prolonged summer drought, Depending upon what follows, a mere spark could ignite a correction or a crash, with burning stocks markets around the world being sent up in flame. And the last threat that I want to bring to your attention that we need to consider is everything I've just mentioned. When it comes to this kind of analysis, and I haven't mentioned everything I see that we should be concerned about. But when it comes to this type of analysis, you get a good feel for what's really going on both domestically and internationally and how it can affect your particular portfolios. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm not seeing all of the threats. Indeed, just as investors get jazzed by upside surprises in corporate sales or profits, they react very badly to negative surprises. And that's a fact. And the more unexpected, the more extreme the sell-off that will occur as a result of surprises in the market. That's why, family members, is so important that you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family, remain vigilant. Just like Pappy Boyington. The fighter pilots who made it through combat were mostly those who excelled at scanning for threats at all times. When everyone else was comfortable, they refused to be comfortable. They remained uncomfortable, for they did not like surprises. The same is true of prudent, clever traders and investors. Family members and listeners alike, keep your head on a swivel and don't lock onto anything. There's a twin benefit to this kind of caution. There is indeed a monetary benefit to this kind of vigilance. So there you have it. The defensive benefit is as follows. It's much less likely that some unforeseen threat will slip up on your six, as they say in the military, your backside, Once again, it's much less likely that some unforeseen threat will slip up on your six, cut in behind you, totally unseen, and shoot you down and make you flame out. But there's also an offensive, if you will, opportunistic benefit, an offensive opportunistic benefit. And that is, you, me, we, the SOS Wall Street family, will continue to find hefty profit plays as a result of target opportunities like our defense position plays that few others see, that will continue to get us P.A.I.D. as we see now what others see eventually. Family members, you must at all times keep your head on a swivel and understand and overstand that we must not become complacent, and we will never, ever, ever give up, because destiny is ours and the time is now. You're inside a classroom without walls, where failure is not an option and giving up is not a decision that we will ever, ever make. Don't give up. Keep your head on the swivel, y'all, and get P.A.I.D.
I never thought of myself as a complex man or as someone who was really that hard to understand. But it would hardly take a genius to realize that I've always been a lot too arrogant and a little too fucking wise. I was a combination that made a lot of folks feel duty bound to do whatever they could to try and shoot me down, to head off some of the things that I might possibly say, to see if they couldn't take some of my pride away, to bring me disappointment, to teach me to fear it. Obviously, these are folks just didn't have no spirit. Spirit said, don't give up. Yes, it's time to stop your falling. You've been down long enough. Can't you hear the spirits calling? Yes, it's the spirits. Can't you hear it? Calling your name, calling your name. Yeah, talking about spirit. There are people whose lives are so far off the track that what they like best about life is stabbing brothers in the back. And I was obviously too blind and probably too weak to see who was responsible for my losing streak. The best way to explain it is to say simply because I was looking around outside, and the truth is that I was the one. So I got locked into all of the analysis and found myself locked into a kind of paralysis, and something was calling and I almost didn't hear it, but I spent a lot of time being blessed by the spirits. Make you say, don't give up. Hey, it's time to stop your falling. Yeah, you've been down long enough. And can't you hear the spirits calling? Yes, it's the spirits. Can't you hear it? Calling your name, calling your name. Yeah, talking about spirit. It didn't matter whether it was a child or an adult. There was absolutely no one I could not insult, so that I could isolate myself somewhere off to the side and continue to juggle all the possible whys. The warmth I once could generate so well had turned into a frozen hell, and all of the discouraging injustices I felt had pinned me somewhere inside a drug-infested cell, where those who told didn't know and those who knew didn't tell, and I can continue to feel sorry for myself. I can continue to feel sorry for myself. I can continue to feel sorry for myself. And then I heard, don't give up. It's time to stop your falling. Yeah, you've been down long enough. Yeah, can't you hear the Spirit's calling? Yes, it's the Spirit. Can't you hear it? Calling your name, calling your name. Yeah, talking about Spirit. Ain't no way overnight to turn your life around. And this ain't the conversation of someone who never falls back down. But no matter how long you've been on trial with the days and the weeks of self-denial, and no matter how many times you tried to make it and found out that right then you just couldn't take it, if you're looking for a loser who found strength and success, remember the spirit of Brother Malcolm X. And know that you can leave all of your mistakes behind the day that you really make up your mind. 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 Pull on up. Stand on up and say, don't give up. Don't give up. Yes, it's time to stop your falling. Calling on you. You were falling down long enough. Can't you hear the Spirit's calling? Hear the Spirit's calling. Don't give up. Yes, time to stop your falling. Yes, and you've been down long enough. Yeah, can't you hear the Spirit's calling?
As we take a look at the top 3 major U.S. indexes, well, we've got that Dow. Yeah, that Dow is currently down 60 points. Got the S&P 500 down 0.01% and that NASDAQ down 0.39%. When we come back, I need for you to take copious notes because we're going to go over how you can get P.A.I.D. from what? Guess what? We're going to show you how to get P.A.I.D. from autonomous driving vehicles. That's right. You're inside the classroom without walls.
Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute's Classroom Without Walls radio broadcast is to be utilized for information and educational purposes only. Contact your personal financial and or investment advisor for trading and investing advice. Thank you for allowing us to be your community servants. Your money is so vital to you, to your family. Pension funds and 401ks have recently lost trillions of dollars. Massive job losses, rising prices, Wall Street bailouts while Main Street is shut out from the so-called American dream. Companies too big to fail. Hundreds of billions of dollars and hundreds of billions more of taxpayer money for this or for that. What about you? What do you do? You're smart, so you realize making smart decisions is more important than ever. Make a smart decision and become a part of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute. Go to askthewiz.info to find out more right now. That's www.askthewiz.info. The Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute was founded and is led by Dr. Kenneth Reeves. Dr. Reeves is the Ph.D. economist, financial engineer, and chief investment strategist that is world-renowned for his tremendous guidance in helping to lead countless people to financial security. And he is known worldwide for telling it like it is in simple terms that everyone can understand. It's your hard-earned money, not theirs. Give it your best. Be a part of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute. To research and join, call 404-523-9177 or go to the website at askthewiz.info. That's www.askthewiz.info. THEWIZ.INFO for only $50 per month. That's right, for only $1.66 per day with no contracts or long-term commitments, you will receive all the benefits of being a member of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute. Join now by calling 404-523-9177 or go to the website at www.askthewiz.info. That's the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute, www.askthewiz.info. The Wiz thanks you for allowing him to be your community servant.
Indeed I do, indeed I do. For it's an honor to serve each and every one of you 24/7, 365. And we want to remind those of you that are members of the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family that we will be in our normally scheduled Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute virtual trader room. That's tomorrow from 9:30 until 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute virtual trader room. That's on Wednesday, July the 19th, 2017. Now, family members, let's go over how to monetize a certain type of technology that has arrived and that is being fine-tuned as we speak. Okay, we're talking about a technology that is going to eventually affect each and every person on this planet. We're talking about a technology that already has the infrastructure in place. If you go the next time you pull up on a red light, okay, at any red light, notice that the lens on the red, yellow, and green, they look a little bit thicker than normal. They look a little bit opaque, although the color coming through is very, very strong, okay? But the lens itself looks a little bit thicker. Why? Because those are special lenses that are tied to the Internet of Things. And those lenses can pick up on the computers and the software that will be running the autonomous cars. So now, family members, let's talk about multiple ways to monetize autonomous vehicle technology. Now, for decades, science fiction has whet our appetites for vehicles that don't need human drivers and transcend conventional boundaries. The future is approaching faster than most analysts and you and I expect. Research consulting firm IHS Automotive projects that 21 million self-driving cars will be piling on the roadways of the world by 2035. And this same report from IHS also estimates that global autonomous car production will reach 600,000 units by 2025, at which point production will grow at a compounded annual rate of 43% for the following 10 years. Goldman Sachs estimates that autonomous driving systems and that market is on track to generate $290 billion in revenue by 2035, up from $3 billion in 2015. Now, the available technology for autonomous cars is starting to match our imaginations, and even lawmakers are catching up. So far, legislation has been passed in 4 U.S. states and Washington, D.C., allowing driverless cars. So you'll be able to text and drive to your heart's content. Now, I like to point out to you an alternative way, a clever way, if you will, for you, me, we, the Ask the Wiz Wealth Institute family and listeners alike to profit, to get P.A.I.D. from the autonomous driving car explosion. Now, it's not a company that gets much attention, okay? But at the end of the day, this particular company is getting P.A.I.D. and will continue to get P.A.I.D. from autonomous automobile technology, okay? Now, many people think that they've already missed out on the big investment gains from self-driving cars, but you need to look beyond the obvious Wall Street darlings. The best known play on self-driving cars is Alphabet, aka Google, okay, which is developing an autonomous car that's electrically powered. The software guiding these self-driving cars is called Google Chauffeur. and it possesses all of the functions typically handled by human drivers, okay? Now, Google has called their driverless or autonomous car the Waymo, spelled W-A-Y-M-O. That's the Googleless self-driving car, okay? And it doesn't need a human to perform any task except start it and input the destination. You won't find any steering wheels or pedals, only an emergency brake in the vehicle. The dashboard provides situational awareness that's created via sensors, cameras, and radar. Sounds pretty cool, right? Problem is this. Alphabet is a technology behemoth, okay, engaged in diverse activities. Another ostensible play is Intel to get paid in this autonomous vehicle space, which in March of this year announced that it would purchase Mobileye for about $15.3 billion. Now, that was smart because Mobileye develops computer vision and machine learning-based sensing solutions. However, Intel is a vast semiconductor manufacturer with fingers in many different pies. And then we have chip maker Qualcomm. Qualcomm also gets a lot of attention as a self-driverless car position, especially after it announced last October it would pay $47 billion for NXP Semiconductors, which is a company that designs and manufactures technology for advanced driver-assisted systems. You see, however, with technology breakthroughs, okay, as they come along, we have to look at and look for unorthodox plays that offer outsized room for growth because they're smaller. You see, and also because they're less known and reasonably valued, which brings me to this particular position that so many people have overlooked. But this company is getting P.A.I.D. very quietly, and it is an excellent buyout candidate as well. The company is Delphi Automotive, symbol DLPH. Write it down. The uber wealthy are already buying up this stock very quietly, and they're getting paid. Delphi Automotive, symbol DLPH. Now, it's true. None of the talking heads on TV have mentioned Delphi and smart cars in the same breath. But that's why the stock is being bought up by the uber wealthy, because currently it's under the radar, and we must see now what others see eventually and get P.A.I.D. from this. Delphi, symbol DLPH, has a market cap of $23.1 billion. It's based out of the UK, and it manufactures vehicle components such as electrical and electronic powertrain and safety technology. And it does this for automotive and commercial vehicles, okay? The company also serves the booming aftermarket for automobiles. Now, Delphi is strategically vital to the vast global automotive and truck manufacturing industry, but it gets mostly ignored by Wall Street. And that's a good thing for you, me, we, the ASK THE WIZ Wealth Institute family. Now, although the U.S. economy is overdue for a downturn, certain sectors should sustain their positive momentum in 2017. Notably, auto and truck sales have been robust, okay? And they should stay that way for a brief period of time, and then they're going to start pulling back. We already, as I mentioned earlier, we see automobile loans defaults increasing. Now, Delphi, however, is also making vast inroads into smart cars or autonomous driving vehicles. You see, in May of this year, Delphi joined with BMW, okay, and Intel and Mobileye as well in a joint partnership to develop the building blocks of autonomous vehicles. Now, as I have analyzed all of the companies in this autonomous vehicle space, Delphi is a smarter play for us on smart cars than the major vehicle production companies, okay, and technology giants, because its diverse client base encompasses a wide range of automobile makers around the world. See, it's not in the business of making autonomous cars. It's in the business of serving all the autonomous vehicle makers. Very smart, very clever. Now, DLPH trailing 12-month price to earnings ratio, or PE, is 20.1 compared to the trailing PE ratio of 20.3 for the auto parts industry as a whole. And DLPH, Delphi, represents a reasonably priced position in a dangerously overvalued broader market. Now, the average analyst's expectation is that Delphi's year-over-year earnings growth will reach 4.4% in the current quarter, 4% next quarter, and 5.5% in the current year, and 8.9% next year. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, Delphi will get us P.A.I.D, as Delphi provides a superb alternative way to get paid in the autonomous vehicle market and capitalize on the autonomous vehicle bonanza. Okay? And at the end of the day, we would be well advised to do a complete drill down on Delphi, symbol DLPH, for possible inclusion into our portfolio to monetize the autonomous vehicle arena, providing you with information, as we see now, what others see eventually, that will get you P.A.I.D. For now is indeed the time for us to take control of our own economic destiny. No sense to worry, no stress at all. Monetize those things around you and make Wall Street continue to pay you right here on Main Street. Monetizing autonomous vehicles and their supportive technology. Delphi, to get your P.A.I.D. It is now time for the ASK THE WIZ Institute ER Plays of the Day.